Hello, this is Dr. Evans, hereby is lonesome, all here to talk about proofreading.
What are you talking about?
Ghost, don't haunt me.
I ain't no ghost. A lassie with a needle and thread came and sewed up my nook. Now I'm feeling as wrecked as rain. 'Tis the darndest thing.
Okay, well, you're welcome to join me. Proofreading and editing is as much of a skill as the writing in the first place. You could be the most imaginative writer with a terrific plot, but without a good editor, it can be incredibly difficult to read. So
Ahem.
we'll provide you with some tips to get started, some common error types to look for, and end with proofreading beyond just grammar.
The foremost step to proofreading is to take a break between writing and reading. Take a stroll over the moor. You'll want to have fresh air.
You may want a hard copy, while Google Docs and Microsoft Word or Grammarly can fix some errors, it won't catch them all. A hard copy will help focus the eyes like a computer screen will not.
Even ye has some ill habits, be on the lookout for the common errors.
Some of you may have issues with punctuation or with run-on sentences, so knowing what to look for will help. When you proofread, don't rush. Read slowly and methodically. Your brain is a miraculous tool that will connect thoughts and ideas that aren't established on the page. The common issues is that you know what you were trying to say, but the reader does not because of the missing details. Your mind will auto-insert into your writing when you read too quickly. This is the problem I struggle with the most.
Read the paper aloud. Ye will not seem doolally. Some of the smartest folk blather to themselves and sometimes even answer back.
By reading aloud, you are better capable of catching small grammatical errors, whether something doesn't sound right or transition is awkward or clunky. Reading aloud can catch some of those. While I don't do this one suggestion is read every sentence in reverse order. Thus, you take the sentence completely out of the context of the paper and thus focus on the sentence itself, not what the sentence is trying to convey. Like where it fits in the paper, you're just reading it for grammar and sounding.
Lastly, has someone else kick over the paper. 'Tis a best to have a second set of een over it.
Yeah. Next, we'll talk about the common error types to look for. The first thing to look for is spelling errors. While spelling and grammar programs will catch most of these, if your typo happens to be a real word, it may not. Reading slowly aloud or having the second person reading it helps to catch these errors. Watch out for homonyms, words that sound the same but are spelled differently. See grammar video 1 for examples of these, like yours and your and your, or there, and there.
Keep edgy for doubled or missing words. Your brain will fix the errors afore your een realize what you're doing.
Next, check for sentence fragments. Every sentence should have a subject and a complete verb. Yeah, every subject must contain at least one independent phrase. So also Watch out for run-on sentences. While occasionally run-ons can be corrected through proper punctuation, it may be simpler just to split them into multiple sentences. Typically, 2 independent phrases are the limit on sentence length. If you try to go much beyond that, you're running definitely into run-on territory.
Next, we have the affair comma splice. A comma splice is when a comma is used poorly. To learn how for to use them proper good, watch our either grammar videos.
Reaching into new grammar territory for us, we have subject-verb agreement. If the subject is plural, so must the verb, regardless of what description that may follow between the two.
Such as Scotsman hailing from Ballyarney are my kinsman. The subject in this case is the folk, not the stead.
Also, beware of missing pronoun references or pronoun subject agreement. If it isn't clear who the pronoun refers to, fix it.
Lastly, search for missing or misused apostrophes. They're used to show position and contractions only.
Our last topic is what to edit for beyond grammar. What other ways can you improve your paper? The first thing you should do is to identify your thesis. If your thesis isn't readily identifiable by you, how will your reader know what you want to express? You can't just meander through a paper. You have to have a focused laser point topic that you're going to shoot for. Your whole paper should refer back to and relate to that thesis.
When it comes to your sources, check your proof. Do they support your claims? Are you citing your sources correctly within the paragraphs?
Finally, read each paragraph to see if it furthers your argument presented in your thesis or continues your story that you are attempting to tell in your paper. If it doesn't, you may need to switch the order around within the paper or even remove it entirely. We don't need a complicated storyline with flashbacks and flash forwards. We don't need like a Quentin Tarantino film on the page. A linear story is fine for most situations. And if your paragraph doesn't fit your thesis, alternatively, you could change or modify your thesis to fit your new story. If you've changed your mind halfway through the paper and you say, maybe I want to actually go this way, it might be easier to just modify your thesis to fit your new opinions.
Well, that's all we have on that subject.
It feels weird to end the video without something dramatic happening.
You should not have said that.
On my phone.
Uh-huh. 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 Bye.
Who was that? And more importantly, where are you keeping that honking phone?
In my spurn, of course. That was the US government. They said my green card was expired and they're going to deport me.